Thousands of people walked and ran in LA to raise money for the city's homeless.
People are aware of what we have done for them.
Veterans celebrated their holiday by parading down Laurel Canyon. A Sierra Leone doctor died in a Nebraska hospital, becoming the second Ebola death in the United States.
This is Valley View News.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Zoe Reynolds.
And I'm Timothy Whitfield.
A doctor from Sierra Leone has died from Ebola after being treated in the U.S. Dr. Martin Celia died while being treated at the Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha. Medical Director Dr. Phil Smith said Celia arrived in serious condition and received what Smith called every possible treatment. Dr. Celia contracted Ebola while working with patients in Sierra Leone. He was the 10th person to receive Ebola treatment in the U.S., but only the second to die.
The National Guard has been ordered to help international efforts to fight Ebola. Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel signed an order that will send 6 battalions to West Africa. The Army National Guard says no soldier will be provided direct medical care. Troops will be training people on how to prevent Ebola and malaria. The deployment will take place early in spring.
The city of San Fernando hosted their annual Veterans Day Parade, where citizens came together to honor our troops. Reporter Dean Perez has more on the story.
As you look down Laurel Canyon Boulevard on a Veterans Day, it almost feels as if you've entered a history book. You walk past veterans who proudly wear their uniforms, and you pass by veterans who have been part of some of the most pivotal battles in our history. Former U.S. Navy member Don Crandall, part of the 1952 Korean War, says he feels enlightened when people come out for the celebration.
It shows me that there's still a patriotic symbol in the United States. It shows me that people are aware of what we have done for them.
CSUN's Omega Phi fraternity came out to show their respect by volunteering to help out in the parade. Vice President Demetrius Scott of Omega Phi tells us why veterans motivate him as a college student.
You understand that all these people went through something, all these people, they had their own struggle in particular, and something like that just keeps me, like as a college student, going, because they went through some harder things than I'm going through writing a 6-page paper, you know.
The parade continued as veterans drove their cars down the street waving the nation's flag. Some cars were decorated with banners showing different wars they were a part of, including their infantry. A few cars were proud to display various family members.
The Veterans Day Parade here in San Fernando Valley is much more than a celebration. It's about history, community, and honor. In San Fernando, I'm Dean Perez, Valley View News.
The White House has confirmed that the terror group ISIS beheaded a U.S. aid worker. Peter Kassig was on a humanitarian mission when he was captured last year in Syria. ISIS released a video of mass beheadings of men said to be Syrian government soldiers. U.S. officials said that the video confirmed the death of Kassig. He is the 3rd U.S. citizen known to have been executed by ISIS.
Pope Francis will be making his first trip to the United States next year. He will be attending the September World Meeting of Families. The Catholic event in Philadelphia celebrates families as the basic building block of society. Pope Francis will also be celebrating Mass on Benjamin Franklin Parkway. This will make him the 4th Pope to visit the United States.
A small nonprofit organization in Los Angeles is working on a big goal. The group calls itself My Pocket Change, and its goal is to make more than 1,000 meals for homeless every month. Valley View reporter Andrea Bautista has more on the story.
Volunteers from a nonprofit organization met at UCLA to make 5,000 meals for the homeless. The nonprofit My Pocket Change met early in the morning. Volunteers were ready for the long day ahead of them and unloaded hundreds of supplies. On the menu was peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, granola bars, juice packs, and water. Co-founder of My Pocket Change, Larry Levine, says getting laid off 7 years ago made helping the homeless personal.
For me, it's very important that we keep this going because, you know, you walk around the street, people just ignore homeless people. So, you know, if we can do our part to help people who are homeless, even if it's just by providing them with a meal, that's really important to us.
More than 50 volunteers came to make meals throughout the day. This was the first public event My Pocket Change was able to host with help from the UCLA Muslim Student Association.
It's a very important part of the religion to care for those who are less fortunate and those in need.
A housing and urban development survey found that New York, Florida, Texas, Massachusetts, and California account for more than half of the homeless population. Co-founder Van Levine hopes to reach out to as many homeless as she can.
Especially when there are over 40,000 veterans that are homeless right now. They fought for a country, yet they're out there struggling. So seeing them on the street really breaks my heart.
Nestle and Sparklets donated more than 1,000 water bottles to the organization, and the towering racks of bread were all donated by Flowers Foods. My Pocket Change will be taking these meals to shelters across Los Angeles in hopes that they can fill an empty stomach. In Westwood, Andrea Bautista, Valley View News.
Elsewhere in LA, more than 13,000 people ran or walked 3 miles to raise money to help the homeless. Valley View News reporter Eddie Guyona was there.
And the home of the brave.
Grammy Award winner singer Tia Carrere helped to kick off the United Way-sponsored annual Home Walk with her rendition of the national anthem. Walkers of all ages attended the 5K Run and Walk, which was held at Exposition Park in Los Angeles. Secretary of U.S. Housing and Urban Development Julian Castro spoke to the crowd about his efforts to provide a home for those without one.
We understand that Los Angeles has one of the biggest challenges with homelessness, and over the last several years have dedicated the most amount of resources to Los Angeles City and County to combat homelessness.
The foundation's mission is to end homelessness by raising money to help those living on the streets of LA County. U.S. Navy veteran Marva Lewis became homeless after no longer being able to work due to an injury.
Homelessness is happening, and there's different types of homelessness. You know, there are people that have mental issues, of course. You have people that just got out of war and they don't know where to go.
Home Walk participants walked 3 miles to raise money to help the homeless.
I've had family members and people in my life that have dealt with extreme homelessness. I've seen it growing up. I've experienced it growing up.
A lot of my friends in high school and briefly myself, we go through a process where we're not exactly accepted in our homes, and sometimes you have to overcome that.
LA County Fire Department trainee Alex Cho says it's very important for his recruit class to come out and show support.
And we're just trying to find a way to give back and represent all the people here, and especially the veterans who come back who don't have homes, and it's a great cause.
The El Sereno Middle School marching band helped set the tone towards the end of the run and walk. At the finish line, participants were cheered on and celebrated by volunteers. By using the hashtag HomeWalk, many runners and walkers were able to pick up a printed copy of their shared pictures from their social media accounts. There are nearly 40,000 people who are homeless in LA County. HomeWalk has raised more than $1.2 million so far. In Los Angeles, I'm Eddie Gaona, Valley View News.
Nearly 200 passengers became ill from a virus on a cruise ship. This is the second outbreak from the norovirus on the Princess Cruise Line. Norovirus is highly contagious and can spread through contaminated food and surfaces. Passengers and crew members were treated on the ship. Officials say no one required hospitalization when the Crown Princess cruise ship docked in San Pedro.
4 DuPont plant workers in Houston, Texas are dead after a toxic chemical leaked. A 5th employee is recovering after treatment for chemical exposure. The chemical methyl mercaptan is used to make insecticides. The cause of the leak is still under investigation. The Houston Chronicle reports DuPont had been previously fined for violations in handling dangerous chemicals.
West Virginia University has suspended all Greek activities after a freshman was found unconscious at a fraternity house. A WVU statement says paramedics were called to the fraternity house for what was called a medical emergency. The news comes shortly after the death of a student in New York who was found at a Kappa Sigma fraternity house.
New York City police are looking for a suspect they say killed a man by pushing him in front of a subway. Police say a 61-year-old victim was standing on a platform at the subway station when he was pushed. His wife was with him at the time of the incident. She was taken to the hospital for observations. Police say they didn't have enough information on the suspect because he immediately fled the scene. Authorities say they are looking for a man seen on a surveillance video earlier that day.
Coming up in sports, the St. Louis Rams beat the Denver Broncos in a big upset.
And the Lakers are off to the worst start they've ever had.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Look at these boots.
Man, those are nice. You should buy them.
Half the price of the real thing. Do you want them?
The production and sale of counterfeit goods cause more harm than meets the eye.
Get to work!
And the profits can fund organized crime.
So, do you want them?
Buying counterfeit products?
No way.
It's just not worth it.
And now we go to Laura with sports.
Thank you, Zoe. In this week's NFL recap, the Miami Dolphins trounced the Buffalo Bills 22-9. Dolphins rookie Jarvis Landry dove into the end zone for a fourth-quarter touchdown. The Arizona Cardinals flew past the Detroit Lions Cardinal quarterback Drew Stanton, threw touchdown passes to Michael Floyd on Arizona's first 2 possessions. The Cardinal held Detroit without a touchdown, beating the Lions 14-6. This is Cardinals' best record through a 10-game since 1948. The St. Louis Rams pulled off a shocker, beating the Denver Broncos 22-7. Rams quarterback Sean Hill played his first start since regaining the quarterback job. Rookie Trey Mason had 29 carries for 113 yards. The Rams defense did its part and put constant pressure on Broncos QB Peyton Manning. The New England Patriots crushed the Indianapolis Colts with a 42-20 victory. Patriots running back Jonas Gray rushed for 199 yards and had a record of 4 touchdowns in his 4th career game. Quarterback Andrew Luck extended his record to 8 straight 300-yard games and did his happy dance to celebrate. The LA Kings' Rob Blake has yet another title. He has a great defenseman, became the Kings' assistant general manager, and now a Hall of Famer. Blake is one of 25 NHL players to have won the Stanley Cup, an Olympic gold medal, and a world championship. Blake is the only LA Kings defenseman to win a Norris Trophy Stanley Cup. Winner Joe Sakic said, Blake was inducted not only for his performance on the ice, but what he did for the game off the ice. He was inducted with 6-time Vezina Trophy winner Dominik Hasek and Mike Modano, the highest-scoring American-born player. The Los Angeles Kings are running out of healthy defensemen. Alec Martinez became the latest injured player when he hurt his finger blocking a shot against the Dallas Stars. He had surgery and was expected to return in about a week. The Kings' Robin Regier is also expected to return from an injury at about the same time. The Los Angeles Lakers have broken a record, and it's a bad one. They're off to the worst start they've ever had. 1 win and 9 losses. The Golden State Warriors defeated the Lakers 136-115. The Lakers defense gave up 30 points to Stephen Curry. Lakers coach Brian Scott was mad and said he's close to reworking his entire defense. The Lakers backcourt scored 44 points, all of them scored by Kobe Bryant. This means 0 from Jeremy Lin. If the Lakers want to win, they must do it as a team and not as individuals. Come on, guys. Let us not make bad record even worse. Undefeated Florida State University has snagged the #1 college football ranking. The Seminoles were #1 in the preseason, but the top spot was later taken by Mississippi State. When Mississippi lost a week ago, the Florida Seminoles jumped back to the top. The Associate Press poll is based on the team's overall record this season and on votes from a panel of sports reporters. Alabama State, Oregon, Mississippi State, and TCU follow closely with 9 wins and 1 loss. Polls are still subject to change, but it will be hard to take away that #1 spot. And that's all for sports. Now back to you.
Up next in entertainment, MTV reality star has lost a long battle with cancer.
And Matthew McConaughey gets a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Pencils, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out for summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
And now let's go to Marcelina Rallo with entertainment.
Thank you, Timothy. CSUN is hosting a day of Native American dances, arts, crafts, and culture. The November 29th event is called a powwow, and this will be the 31st time CSUN has hosted it. Valley View Andreas Bautista reports from Studio B with more on the big day.
Thank you. With me, we have Councilmember Pauline Alvarez of the American Indian Student Association to talk about the annual powwow that's going to be on campus this year. Can you tell us what kind of events the community can look forward to at the powwow?
We'll have our traditional dancers and other vendors as well that will be selling things such as Native American jewelry, and we'll also have a arts and crafts table for children and fry bread, of course.
What time will the event be?
The event will be, we'll start at 10 a.m. and it'll end at 9 p.m.
And how involved is the American Indian Student Association with the powwow?
We're really involved. We're a co-sponsor and we help a lot with planning, getting vendors to come, inviting dancers, and promotion as well.
Why did you decide to join the council?
I decided to join the council about my sophomore year here at CSUN, so my second year, because I am half Native American and I wanted to get more connected with my culture as well as give back to the Native American community.
Now, in Los Angeles, we have one of the largest populations of American Indians. So what do you hope people learn from the powwow about Native Americans?
I just want people to learn that we're not people of the past. We do exist, and not all Native Americans are, as some may see, are stereotypical, a Plains Indian with the big headdress, even though that is what powwows usually have. But, we're just urban Indians here in LA, and I just hope people can see that.
Thanksgiving is coming up as well, and the powwow happens, I think, about a week after. So, or the weekend of Thanksgiving. Does it have any relation to Thanksgiving, or your powwow, like your own separate way of being independent from Thanksgiving?
Well, there's a lot of controversy and complexity about Thanksgiving, even within the Native community. Most people, and as myself, I see Thanksgiving as a time for really to give thanks. I never associate it with, pilgrims and having this dinner with Native Americans. It is this time for me and my family to give thanks. The powwow is completely separate from the Thanksgiving, and it's just a way for us to preserve our culture and get the community to get the American Indian community together.
Well, thank you for being here, and back to you guys.
U2 will no longer be opening for The Tonight Show. Lead singer Bono was injured in a cycling accident in New York Central Park. The rock star hurt his arm and needs surgery. It's been a tough time for Bono. Just days before his cycling mishap, the hatch came off a plane flying him from Dublin to Berlin. He was not hurt. Matthew McConaughey will receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. McConaughey has appeared in more than 40 feature films. He won an Oscar for his portrayal of an AIDS patient in Dallas Buyers Club. He also received an Emmy nomination for his performance in the HBO drama series True Detective. The ceremony comes just after the release of his new film called Interstellar. Solange Knowles is now happily remarried. Knowles married video director Alan Ferguson. The couple celebrated along with a wedding party at an opera house in New York. Knowles wore a cream pantsuit with a cape instead of a traditional wedding dress. MTV star Dean Brown died after battling cancer. Brown made her TV debut in 2006 on Real World Road Rules Challenge. Then she created a website to support others fighting cancer. She first got ovarian cancer in 2006 and then again in 2012. But the last month she revealed her cancer had spread. Just a couple days before her death, the reality star wrote on Twitter asking for prayers and advice. More people are spending money this holiday season. U.S. retail sales increased last month by 0.3%. Retailers are offering deals to draw a bigger crowd. Last year, the government shutdown stopped people from spending. Analysts say this year is a better time to spend. Shoppers usually look for big discounts as the holiday season approaches. Black Friday has often been the day for the best bargains, but that may have changed. Valley View reporter Timothy Whitfield does some holiday digging of his own to find the deals.
Parking spots at the mall are starting to grow scarce as we get closer to Black Friday. At Westfield Mall, previously known as Fox Hills, people have already begun their holiday shopping. A number of stores have offered deep discounts for shoppers. Because of that, many people can be found hunting for bargains on the latest styles and technology. Many mall goers here are in and out of several stores, hoping to get lucky on the items they want this season. Other than holiday deals, many show concerns about the tense moods that come along with this season.
Craziness, chaos, lack of parking, big sales. I worked in retail for 9 years, so I try and avoid it at all costs.
Stage actress Maya is not in retail, and she has no use for Black Friday.
The madness is something that I steer away from and never get involved. I mean, for years, I have never liked the whole energy that captures people about it.
A recent study from Adobe Systems Inc. shows that Black Friday may not be the best day for deals. The study of last year's spending habits projects retailers' biggest price cuts to be on the week before Thanksgiving. Mall goers believe it to be a much-needed change from dealing with the Black Friday crowds.
Because I don't have to worry about, oh, what are we going to do? We're getting the stores at like midnight. Who wants to spend the night outside, camped out, because I might get a good deal on a TV.
Some have doubts about Black Friday.
I don't buy into it.
But retailers hope many still plan to show up for the doorbusters. The holiday season is fast approaching, and many are concerned about getting a good deal. Doing a little bit more holiday research may make all the difference for the Christmas rush. I'm Timothy Whitfield, Valley View News, Los Angeles.
The popular Snapchat application has now integrated a new feature, introducing Snap Cash, which allows money to be sent via email to other people in their Snapchat contacts. Snapchat users must sign up with a Square to include their debit card details that enable the transfer. Person-to-person payments via smartphones and tablets are a small portion of all mobile transactions, but are growing fast. Facebook users will be noticing new changes to the site. The website will be reducing the number of unpaid advertisements in news feeds. The change will be made in response to survey data. Users complain that the site feels too promotional. The number of paid ads users see will not increase. The site will also be adding workplace tools to let users communicate with their coworkers. The tools will let users keep their personal profiles separate from their work accounts. Halliburton is making big moves in the oil industry. The multinational corporation is buying rival oilfield service company Baker Hughes. Officials say the cash and stock deal is worth more than $34 billion. The boards of both Houston-based companies approved the sale. Regulators must still okay the deal, and shareholders must vote to approve it. The deal is expected to close in the second half of 2015. Honda has unveiled a hydrogen-powered car in Tokyo. The so-called FCV will be sold in Japan in 2016, then in Europe and the United States shortly after. Honda says fuel cell technology and engine parts fit entirely into the front of the engine compartment. The car will have a driving range of more than 300 miles. Honda has been aggressive in pursuing alternative fuel technologies. Back to you.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Zoe Reynolds.
And I'm Timothy Whitfield. Have a great week.